All right, so story time for you guys. If you are a coach, course creator, consultant, high ticket affiliate marketer, anyone that sells anything online, and basically any human, actually, this is not really a marketing related thing, but I will throw it out there for you guys. One of the most powerful things I've done in my life in order to update the way that I think about myself and update the way that I communicate with myself, even more importantly, is do this little thing. Now, I highly recommend you guys do this. Drop a comment, let me know if you did or if you've tried something similar before. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this stuff. But quite simply, I wanted to take note of what I was saying to myself over the course of a day, a week, a month, all that type of stuff. Because I thought, if I'm having these types of thoughts, then is it possible that I might be able to just change the thoughts themselves and then change the narrative that I'm actually speaking, which then will help to basically reprogram my subconscious with a different message to attract what I want out of life. And so quite literally, it won't take you that long. This is a crazy thing about doing this stuff, is that it's rumored that we have something like 12,000 thoughts per day. Actually, no, I won't even comment. There's many thoughts, and a lot of them are negative, basically. I'll put it out there like that. Where was I going with that? I'll just do power pose and look up the sky while I try and remember. Oh yeah, so anyways, for around about, I'm going to say probably less than one day, I walked around, I had a notepad, and anytime I'd think of something negative, I would jot it down. Anytime I'd verbalize something negative about myself in particular, I would jot it down. And it scared the shit out of me, to be honest, because I was like, after a few hours, I realized how negative I am towards myself. And so when I say negative, I don't mean like, oh, you're a piece of shit. Like, sometimes it was that blatant, but what it usually was is these incestuous little things. It's kind of like, oh, I can't afford that. Oh, I'm always so broke. But like, if you have these types of things rattling around in your subconscious, and then you verbalize it sometimes like, oh, I can't afford that, that's expensive, then what happens is that keeps reprogramming your subconscious. So your subconscious is like, oh, really? Is that? Oh, okay, yeah, I suppose it is, quite expensive, yeah, okay. Well, I guess that's, what we're going to do now. Everything's going to be expensive. Thanks, subconscious. And so if you have that way of viewing things, and you start going through and you start realizing actually that could be a negative, or even saying little things like, oh, I'm not very good at, for example, or I don't do that. Just these blanket statements we sometimes make. I can't do that. I'm not like that. It's like, that's bullshit. Where did half that shit come from? It doesn't exist. You made it up. Like, I'm just not like that. Really? Why? Because you haven't tried. That's why, most of the time. But when I took stock of the stuff and I wrote them down, I'm like, oh, okay, that could be perceived as a negative. If I was looking at it, objectively, okay, that's kind of negative. What about that one? Yeah, that's quite negative as well. Oh, okay, that's quite negative as well. And then it kind of blew my mind, because then I realized the narrative that I've been giving myself internally, and then also verbalizing as well, pretty damn negative. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I can change that. So after a little while, I started thinking, how can I reframe things in my own mind? And so therefore, if I feel a negative thought popping up, it's not living in fairyland going, oh, everything's peachy. It's acknowledging that there is, sometimes a personal deficiency there, or, maybe I can't afford the brand new Ferrari just now, or whatever it is, right? But then changing the way that I frame that in my own mind, and then consciously speak it out loud as well and communicate it. And so when I did that and I started to just acknowledge that, hang on, there's a more constructive way of framing this thing that I just said, okay, cool. And then doing so in a very intentional manner. It wasn't long before all of a sudden I realized how much more positive I was being about myself as a human entity while we're on this plane. And then I started speaking better things and not feeling like this guilt and shame about, like, talking about my awards and shit and my, my successes, and not doing so like in a way that felt like, hey, I've done a bunch of stuff online, go me, I'm awesome. Like, without this kind of like wankery fucking bravado stuff that was there. It's like this congruent with me, because I'm just speaking about my own experience, and I speak about it with a sense of just pride, but like not really conceitedness, not arrogance. It's just like, hey, I've done this stuff matter-of-factly. And when I started communicating with myself like that, my brain, my reticular activating system, started to see more opportunities, started to see better things. It started to completely reshift the way that I would see things in my own life. So anyways, that's it for today. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you have something similar. I'm sure a lot of folks I see out there, you kind of like say some pretty bad stuff about yourself. So, see how you can reshape that and reframe that in your own mind, and you'll be very, very happy with the outcome and the results moving forward. So hope this helps, guys. Catch you in the next one.